Hello everyone, this is Henry from UTT Technologies. In this video, I'm going to introduce you how to configure an access control list rule to only allow a public IP to access a local port. First, let's take a look at the requirements. A company has a web server inside the local network, but they only want the remote branch office to visit this web server. They use the default port 80 as a web service port. The remote branch office public IP address is 200.200.203.211, and the server's IP address is 192.168.16.233. What should we do to meet this user's requirement? First, we need to configure the port forwarding on the router for web server. Click on NAT, click on port forwarding. The protocol is TCP, and start external port is let's say 8081, and internal IP address is the web server's internal IP address, which is 192.168.16.233, and external internal port is 80. Since we're gonna open up the web service to the public IP address, port count is 1. We want to bind it to 1, so the internal IP address will be mapped to the WAN1 IP address. Click on Save. The port forwarding is done. Next, we need to configure a service group. Click on Security, Service Group. We name the service group as web server. The start source port is 80 and end source port is 80. Since we are gonna only open up the web service to the public IP address, the start destination port is 1 to this much. Click on Save. Now the web server service is being created. Next, configure one ACL to allow the public IP address to access port 80. Click on Firewall and find the access control list. Click on New to create a new access control. Here, the actions is Allow. We allowed. The source IP address is the web server's IP address, which is 192.168.16.233, and the destination IP address is the remote branch office's WAN IP address. Which is 200.200.203 and 211. The service group is web server. Click on Save. However, we need to configure another access control to block other IP addresses to access the port 80. Click on New, Deny, and the source IP address is the web server's IP address. Destination IP address is any IP address services, any service. We don't open any service on the web server to any service outside. Click on yes. Now we have successfully created up two access control. The first one is allowed a public IP address, which is the remote branch office WAN IP address, to access the local port 80. And the second access control is to deny any other addresses to access any service on web server in local network. After we are happy about our configuration, don't forget to enable access control. After we enable the access control, these two access control will take effect. So this is how to configure an access control list rule to only allow a public IP to access the local port, in this case the port 80, and it can visit the web server by the external IP address and the port, external port. Thank you.